Today we're going to talk about things you need to know before you join the Army in 2021. But without further ado, let's get to it. What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and like I just said, we're going to be talking about things that you need to know before you join the Army in 2021. And this is going to be things that can help set you up for success when you join the Army and you ship off to basic training, and also things that you should know that have changed in basic training, since 2019, 2020, and just the stuff that they've recently implemented. But before we get into any of that, if you're new here, be sure to leave a big old thumbs up and like this video. It really helps out our content, helps push it out there so more people can see this information. And also, if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. We're trying to hit 30K in the next couple of months, and I know you guys can help us out with that. If you're new here, also some background information on myself. I did 4 years active duty Army as a 68 Whiskey combat medic. I got out in September 2019 as a sergeant, and then I switched over to the reserves, and I've been in the reserves for about a year now, so I have that active duty knowledge and that reserve knowledge. So feel free to ask me any questions you may have in the comment section below, or the best possible place you can get a hold of me is through my Instagram at Ben_Allen175. Again, I try to answer every single DM I get on there, so feel free to shoot me a message and drop a follow. But with all that out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the main topic. What are some of the things you should know before you join the Army in 2021? So to start it off, let's go ahead and start with some of the changes that have occurred in like the last year and a half, right? Because basic training is a completely different thing since when I went in, since when somebody maybe even a year or two went in, because of the whole COVID situation and just a couple of things that they've implemented in like at least the last year or so. I have videos talking about all of these things, so we're just going to do a brief summary of some of the changes that they have implemented, and as of recent, right? So to start off, right, yellow phase. That's a new phase that they added. Usually it's red, white, blue phase in basic, but this yellow phase comes first, and it's like a little quarantine, social distancing phase, just to help reduce the spread of COVID. I have a video talking about that as well if you want more information on it. I'll also put these videos at the very end of this video, that way you can click on them and it's easier for you to access that. Also, the Acft, the Army Combat Fitness Test, the new test that replaced the Apft, the Army Physical Fitness Test, has just it's been said that it's not counting in order to graduate basic training, pretty much, simply because they feel like the test wasn't ready due to the whole COVID situation. So they're making it to where you do not need to pass the Acft in order to graduate basic training. This is for all initial entry soldiers. When you go to your unit, it may be a different story, but as of right now, to graduate basic training, you do not need to pass the Acft, and that's projected to last until 2022, I believe. Again, I have a video covering all of that. Another thing you guys should know before joining the Army in 2021 is the shark attack. The shark attack has been removed. I believe it was only for the infantry soldiers right now, the infantry basic training, but it could be Army-wide as well. But in terms of the infantry, right, they decided to remove the shark attack because they didn't think it was, conducive with building up, the trust that leaders are supposed to instill in their soldiers, and it gives the new soldiers the wrong impression of what the Army is supposed to be like. So what they implemented to replace the shark attack is the first 100 yards, and this is like a team building exercise. It's supposed to build esprit de corps. It's supposed to show them what they can actually become if they stay the course and graduate basic training and their OSIT. But again, I have a video talking about that as well, right? And those are just some of the big things that have changed, and I think you should be familiar with and should know about before joining the Army. Again, you can check out all this information online. You can Google it. You can check out my videos. They pretty much summarize all of these to a T. And just, COVID's been affecting basic training as well. Some people say basic training is a lot easier nowadays due to the whole yellow phase and all the restrictions they have and the training they had to take out, such as combatives, and they altered the gas chamber a little bit. But we'll get into those two a little bit later on in this video, right? And so those are just some of the things in general that you should know, like, in order to prepare for the whole scope of basic training. And now we're going to jump into things that can actually help you and, be more successful in basic training in terms of, looking good to your drill sergeants, or just, putting in the little extra work and knowledge in order to come out a better soldier at the end. And it'll also probably save you from getting smoked a little in basic training as well. For those of you that don't know what getting smoked is, it's pretty much when your drill sergeant like makes you do push-ups or some corrective training, right? They call it corrective training, corrective action, but you're just doing push-ups or squats or some sort of physical exercise, or they can have you write an essay. It just depends on what the drill sergeant's feeling, right? Some of these things are definitely going to help you out, and one of the first ones is know your general orders, your Army song, and your soldier's creed, right? These are all things that they can test you on. At least for us, when we first got to basic training, they gave us a little sheet of paper, and it had a bunch of different things on there, and our drill sergeants were like, we can test you on any of those things. If you get it wrong, you're doing push-ups. And it had the Army song, the general orders, you know, our chain of command, and just in terms of like things that you can actually read and study before you go in, those are just some of them. You can find them on Google. You can type in Army 3 general orders, you can type in the Army song, you can type in the soldier's creed. All of these things can be easily accessible through Google, right? You just look them up, and I wish I would have known them too, because learning the soldier's creed right off the bat as opposed to studying it before going in would have saved me a whole bunch of time and a lot of push-ups, right? Army song too as well. There's a couple people get confused on the Army song, so it's good to know that as well. And your general orders, people are always switching these up, getting them wrong, mix matching them, so knowing this beforehand will definitely benefit you in terms of you'll know it, you'll have a leg up, you probably won't have to do as many push-ups, and those are just some of the things you should know before you need to know actually before you join the Army, just because it'll set you up for more success. One of the next things you need to know before joining the Army in 2021 is your rank structure. This will definitely help you out, right? Because I remember people not knowing what the ranks were when they first joined. They just joined and they're like, okay, cool, like what's that? Is that a PFC? Like to a first sergeant or something, right? They just did not know their ranks. So knowing this will save you some like pain down the road, because if you like say you go up to a first sergeant, right, or your company commander, and you're like, oh yeah, hey sergeant, and instead of like first sergeant or, you know, captain, whatever, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt. Not only are they probably gonna get mad at your drill sergeants for them not teaching you fast enough the rank structure or whatever, but then your drill sergeants are gonna smoke you, and it's probably not gonna be a good day. So your rank structure is probably one of the most important things you need to know before going to basic and joining the Army, just because it'll save you a lot of time and frustration down the road when you accidentally call your captain like a lieutenant or something. I have videos talking about the enlisted rank structure as well. If you want to talk about that, if you guys want to check that out, feel free to go watch it. It'll definitely help you out, but that's just another thing you guys need to know before you join. Another thing I would say you need to know in order to give you a leg up and just, you know, kind of make it a little easier on you should they quiz you on this type of stuff is a little bit of Army history. You know, like, you know, go back and figure out when, you know, the Army was first started, you know, when it was founded, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, when did this happen? When did that happen? Who invented the blue book, right? Because they're gonna give you this little book. It's a blue thing. They call it the blue book, right? And it just has all this information in it to help you become a better soldier, and it has just the basic fundamentals of soldiering in there for you. You can find this like digitized version of a blue book online on Google. I recommend you just download it, you read it through and through before you ship out, because it'll save you a lot, because there's a lot of stuff they're going to be testing you from is from this little blue book. I know my buddy, he went to one of the, I think it was like a Soldier of the Month board, it was just Soldier of the Cycle board or something, and they were testing off this blue book as the source material in that basic training board, so that could definitely help you out. I know all of these things are a little bit of like educational things that you should know in terms of, you know, the general orders, the Army song, the soldier's creed, the blue book, you know, your rank structure, but a lot of this really does go a long way in terms of setting you up for success and making you look more squared away and high speed, just because you don't want to go in there like knowing nothing. Yes, they're going to teach you a lot of this stuff, but it takes away the learning curve, you know what I mean? You're not going to have to do push-ups countless times, you know, push-up after push-up after push-up like we did. We were doing like over 500 push-ups a day, because they were asking us, you know, who our generals were, who our commanders were, and like people wouldn't know them because you have to learn them and everything. And every time we got one wrong, it was okay, push-ups, everybody. It was literally, he would line us up, he'd go down the line, he'd be like, all right, you, what's your first general order? They say it wrong, everybody down, 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, whatever. Get up, next person is like, okay, what's the third verse of the Army song? Oh, don't know it? Cool. At push up after push up after push up. It's crazy. I'm just trying to save you guys some pain in basic training. And hey, you're either gonna be smart or you're gonna be strong. That's what our drill sergeants always told us. We got really strong. I'll tell you that right now. But it does stick eventually down the road, guys. It's not some of those things that like, oh, I'm never gonna learn it. It's really easy to remember, and you'll look back on it thinking like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know the Soldier's Creed back then. You know what I mean? But those are just some of the things you need to know before you go to basic training. I'm sure there's a bunch of other things I could cover. I'll probably make a part 2 of this video. If you guys can think of anything else, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to throw that into part 2. But for now, that's all I have for you guys. Again, just be mindful of the changes that have occurred. I have videos talking about all of those, the ACFT, yellow phase, you know, all that fun stuff that's, you know, occurred. I just wanted to get that out of the way at the beginning of the video, and start Googling, you know, general orders, Army song, Soldier's Creed. That stuff is going to save you some time. It's going to be very, very helpful to each and every one of you. This is these videos that I'm going to be putting out, the one I put last week, you know, talking about joining the Army in 2021, this one, and the next 2 or 3 videos are all going to be a part of my Joining the Army 2021 series, just going over some of the things that can help you out in 2021. I actually have the paper right here with you know, next week's videos on it. So next week you probably look out for why you shouldn't join the Army, reasons the Army isn't for you in 2021, right? That might be it, or it could be should you join the Army in 2021, and just there's like 12 video ideas on here that I have planned. So if you're ready for those, guys, I'm telling you, they're gonna be banger videos. Subscribe right now. It really helps us out. We're trying to reach a new number. We're trying to build our community, and turn on the bell notifications. That way you guys can stay up to date. Whenever I drop a new video, you'll be immediately notified, okay? It's probably one of the best ways to stay in touch with my videos is the bell and subscribing, okay? And be sure to hit me up on Instagram at Ben_Allen175. It's the best possible place to reach me. If you have any questions whatsoever, I will try my best to get back to every single one of you through there. Drop a follow as well. And with all that being said, guys, I really, really hope you found something useful in this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, a thumbs up. It helps push this video out to a larger audience. And yeah, now this is the end, guys. So I'm going to put the videos up here talking about yellow phase, the ACFT, all that fun stuff. So there you go. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.